Truly, Clarinda, I'm a lost cause. I'm so sorry I didn't participate in the challenge that you generously put together. I wanted to when I signed up. I even felt a bit hopeful, but all I did was read your posts, admire the image, and sometimes read the comments, but most of the time just signed back out. I don't know what's wrong with me. She's the inspiration for today's podcast because she isn't as rare as she thinks. She's not the only one. We can all relate to this or something similar. Listen and be encouraged as I unpack what's just below the surface for her. Welcome to The Power of Self-Talk and Becoming Your Healthiest Self, episode 74.
Hi, I'm Clarinda, and you are listening to the Feel Light Mind and Body podcast, created for women like you. Women who are experiencing success in so many areas of life, but are struggling with weight loss, stress eating, and decreased energy. Losing weight can feel hard, heavy, and restrictive. That's why every week I will be offering you a different perspective, tips, encouragement, and a unique approach so that you can feel lighter in your mind and body rather than feeling deprived, frustrated, or discouraged. What if you could feel free, yet in control around food for the rest of your life? What if you could enjoy your experience of losing weight and getting healthier? You absolutely can. You're in the right place. Take this time for yourself and let's dive in.
We just finished our virtual free spring challenge, 10 days to more energy. And once again, we learned and were inspired by each other. Some were active participants. Others were quiet observers who applied most of the challenges and told me so privately. Some, I have no idea whether they applied them or forgot they had signed up. And then there were a few messages like I shared from, well, let's call her Sally, that had a similar underlying message and tone. I replied to their messages, but told them I would expound more on the podcast so you could also benefit. Let's look at the first sentence of her message. Truly, Clarinda, I'm a lost cause. That broke my heart. That self-talk is so crippling. The inner dialogue is defeating. That kind of brain chatter offers no space for hope. Sally felt like she was simply sharing the news as if it was a fact. Her brain was looking back at her past attempts for evidence of why this was true. That keeps you stuck, my friend. That keeps you as a prisoner of your past. Let me ask you what I asked her. Is that what you really want? No, of course not. I know. I've been there in a different area, but with a similar feeling. That ingrained practice thinking over many years can't magically change with a few affirmations, in spite of what pop culture might be saying. I know. I've tried them and added more evidence to my previous thinking that mindset work was all woo-woo and unrealistic. When we work together, I take you step by step in helping you create a new neural pathway of thinking that with consistency and imperfect practice becomes your new supportive default thinking. It's the only way it'll last. Think about how many times you have lost and gained the same 20 pounds or more. You know how to do it. You probably don't need a new program or technique to lose your next 10 pounds, but for it to be lasting, some very important and effective foundational components are imperative if you want to end the yo-yo cycle you feel defeated by. Let's talk a bit more about self-talk because it has a profound impact on our journey to better health. We often overlook the continuous conversation happening within us, yet it's this internal dialogue that can either propel us forward or hold us back from achieving our healthiest selves, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and even socially. As I mentioned, Sally, and maybe you as well, are feeling stuck because of what you're thinking. I was proud of her for reaching out because in doing so, I could begin to show her how seemingly true, I have that in quotations, statements were preventing her from moving forward. She's now considering that self-talk isn't just idle chatter. It's a reflection of our deepest beliefs and attitudes about ourselves and our capabilities. Positive self-talk can be a powerful tool for motivation, pushing us to take healthy actions and maintain good habits. On the other hand, negative self-talk can lead to a lack of confidence, decreased motivation, and even detrimental health behaviors. Trying to move too quickly into positive self-talk is a combo of art and science. It has to feel believable. You can start with bridge thoughts. Instead of trying to go from, I never follow through, to, I always follow through on what I say I'm going to do. What will be more effective is thinking and saying, I sometimes follow through. Then deliberately think of a time that you have. That puts a crack in the old thinking of I never follow through. I always tell my clients that all they need to do is to be willing to put a crack in that limiting belief for me to be able to guide them to the next step and the next one in living their best lives. If the door is slammed shut and locked for no admittance, I can't help you. When you open the door a crack, which you are now by still listening, you can begin to let in the light of hope and possibility. Then, together, we could explore practical strategies to harness the power of positive self-talk, one bridge thought at a time. It feels so much better and easier when being guided towards more supportive, empowering narratives. This isn't about ignoring reality or plastering over difficulties with unwarranted positivity, but it's about framing challenges in a way that makes them surmountable and less intimidating. You no longer need to feel alone in your frustration, shame, and blame. You may have heard the term cognitive restructuring, a technique used in cognitive behavioral therapy to challenge and change unhelpful thoughts. It doesn't matter what it's called. You don't need to memorize the names of this or that. I simplify the science for you, as our minds are already busy and taxed enough, aren't they? The Feel Light Mind and Body approach uses your current experience and teaches you how to flip these into positive declarations that support growth and resilience. Self-compassion is one of the areas I guide you in for shifting your self-talk. Being kind to ourselves, especially when we stumble, is crucial. You'll learn how treating yourself with the same understanding and support that you'd offer a good friend can dramatically improve your relationship with yourself and consequently your health. I hope even what you're hearing today inspires you to pay attention to your inner dialogue and make intentional shifts toward thoughts that empower and encourage you. Start by simply noticing the ongoing dialogue in your mind. Without judgment or analysis, tune into your thoughts with a sense of curiosity. This practice of observing your own thinking, known as metacognition, is a powerful tool for self-awareness. Remember, the journey to becoming your healthiest self isn't just about the physical actions we take, like diet and exercise, but also about the mental and emotional support we give ourselves along the way. As you navigate your day, pay attention to the tone and content of your inner voice. Is it supportive and kind, or critical and harsh? How does this self-talk affect your feelings and actions, especially regarding the challenges we've undertaken together? The last part of her message was, I'm so sorry I didn't participate in the challenge that you generously put together. I wanted to when I signed up. I even felt a bit hopeful, but all I did was read your post, admire the images, and sometimes read the comments, but most of the time just signed back out. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, after a few similar messages, I recorded a video and shared it with them in the private Spring Challenge group, so I invite you to listen in as I help her and the others understand why this happens so they could stop beating themselves up. Listen right until the end, as what I offered to them, I'm also offering to you as a podcast subscriber. You have hit the follow button, right? That's how you won't miss an episode. Hit the 3 dots, then choose the plus option, which is follow show. And just so you know, I've added the 2 special offers in this episode's description as well. Can you believe how fast this 10-day challenge has gone? Whether you applied one challenge or all 10, you're one step further than you would have been if you hadn't put that effort and commitment into it. So give yourself credit. Thank you for the feedback that this has been an encouraging kickstart for you. Many of you have already felt a shift in your energy and mindset, and I'm so happy for you. When we can feel lighter in our hearts, minds, and bodies, we see the world differently. The problems and challenges are still there, but we do what we can to make a difference and then come back to what we can control, ourselves. As you may know, I've worked with people's hearts, minds, and bodies throughout my career of nursing, personal training, and life and weight coaching. Human behavior and neuroscience, they fascinate me. From this experience, I've also witnessed a lot of mistakes and missed opportunities, followed by regret months or years later. I live my life differently than I did 8 years ago, and part of my mission in life is to help empower women to do the same. I don't want to just live a long life for the sake of living. I want to live a life worth living, full of love, satisfaction, peace, and vitality. I want to be a healthy, active 90-year-old, enjoying my great-grandchildren and not being a burden to anyone. And I think you do as well. So let me share a common mistake that I have made as well as watched many others do. We learn a few new things, experience some wins, and rely on our willpower alone to try and continue. But that only lasts so long before we unfortunately fall back into our old ingrained habits, because it's what we've been practicing for months or years now. It takes less effort, so especially on those busy or tired days, we start to skip out, and challenges like this one become shelf help. Another event that helped temporarily but is now on our shelf with previous groups. Some may even say it was time wasted, as once again, they just proved to themselves that they are great at starting something, but not great at sticking with it or completing it. That takes a toll on our self-confidence and belief for what is possible. We sadly settle, sometimes with a form of gratitude that we should be thankful that it's not worse, which is true. But that doesn't mean there isn't more hope and an extraordinary life waiting for you to decide to deliberately create one consistent step at a time. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't want to learn how to let go of limiting beliefs that might be serving you and taking yourself off the hook, but it's not supporting you and being the healthiest, happiest version of yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't expand your capacity to have more joy, more energy, better health, and a peaceful mind. And I get it. According to recent studies, not even 21 days creates a lasting habit. They're saying 66 days minimum and up to 254. Well, that's over 8 months. That's why I provide a solution for this. What you've been given with these 10 challenges is only the tip of the iceberg. That's exciting. What's below the surface is what really creates the lasting results. I'm inviting every one of you to join the Feel Light Mind and Body community, where you'll receive powerful, short video trainings, along with weekly group coaching with myself and the others in the community. The commitment is for 3 months, but I have some clients who are on their 4th round because each time they're able to implement at a deeper level or apply the information to improving their relationships with themselves and others, instead of the focus only being on weight health, which may have been their first round. They say the weekly coaching sessions alone is worth every penny for them, whether they're watching the replay, you get things a little bit differently, which you may have already experienced in this short challenge. How we do one thing is often how we do anything and everything. Coaching and community support, along with a realistic and deeper level mindset work and accountability, is such a gift of help that you can give yourself and also for your family, because they will benefit from you benefiting. I have husbands thanking me for getting their wife back. I have clients who say the stressors at work haven't changed, but how they perceive them and how they show up has changed, which makes such a powerful difference in their energy at the end of the day. You've probably guessed that it's impossible to cover what you need to solve a problem like more energy in 10 days. But aren't you glad you got started? I know it's been a delight to see familiar names and new names who joined in. And this may be the end of the road for some of you if you choose to carry on alone. If that's you, I thank you for being here, and I wish you all the best. but don't be a stranger, okay? But for those who say, I don't want this to end, Clarinda, I want more, I look forward to working with you in a more mentoring format. Connection is one of my highest values, so the 3-month program, private coaching, and retreat are where I show up most in service to help you reach your goals and to be your biggest supporter. Trust me, when you put skin in the game, I'm even more committed to helping you get unstuck, because we all know as humans, we will get stuck, but the sooner we can get out of that funk, the less overall effect it will have on our health. And of course, that includes our mental and physical energy. While I'm happy that you've gotten some results, I'm excited to share that we've barely scratched the surface. So imagine how you can be feeling emotionally, mentally, and physically by the time summer arrives if you go deeper with me. What will you be able to wear, do, and feel that you're struggling with now? So look, I'm going to share the link for the 3-month Feel Light Mind and Body program so you can learn more and read some of the testimonials and FAQs. You'll see the investment price that anyone stumbling upon my website will see. However, for those who have already been involved in some capacity of life and weight coaching with me, I have a coupon for $300 off that you can apply at checkout. It's 3 months, which is actually 13 weeks. So yes, I'm going to give that bonus week as well. I'll also share the free 20-minute consultation link in case you have questions and want to connect in this way first. Don't hesitate to reach out by email or direct message on the socials. The Feel Light Mind and Body is open and ready for you to join. It will be a smooth and powerful transition into truly transforming your mind and body health. As I wrap this up, let me add that along with giving yourself credit for joining this challenge, give yourself compassion and understanding if you didn't take it as seriously as you had wanted to when you signed up. It's common. Stats show that the majority of us don't fully show up for free. Right now, as I'm recording this, I chose to skip the free webinar I had signed up for because I deemed this as more important. Will I get back to the webinar replay? Possibly, but getting next week's podcast recorded will be more important during my flex time tomorrow. Now, yesterday, when I had other offers coming in, like an invite to walk with a friend, or there was a lot of distractions from personal messages, I said, no, stay focused, Clarinda. And I made sure I showed up prepared for my bi-monthly group coaching session that I've invested $25,000 in for the year. I'll never get through all the training it offers, but I trust that I'll get what I need, and I block out time to do them each week. Having that much skin in the game means 1, I really want to achieve the results I signed up for, and 2, I'll make it a priority and let others know around me ahead of time that I have that time blocked off. It's an investment in my future and helps my motivation and accountability right now, which feels great. I'll have to miss a call when I'm at a conference in 2 weeks, but I've already added watching the replay to my list. If it was free, I most likely wouldn't be putting the extra effort into it. Does that make sense? There are some free things I do get at least 75%, we'll say, of value from it. But on average, not completing a free course or challenge is just part of the usual human behavior. So don't feel bad or wonder why you didn't do so. This isn't necessarily even part of our conscious thinking. We just don't think about it. We don't remember to show up because we haven't fully invested in it. When we pay for something, it's another factor to keep us committed. When it's free, let's be honest, too often we give in to what's more appealing to our brains or what will please other people as people pleasers. So once again, thank you and thank yourself for being part of this challenge. I look forward to the amazing weeks of growth and rejuvenation that can continue for you.
Now, do yourself the biggest favor. From love, take at least one action step from what you learned today. Knowledge without application won't give you the results that you desire. Let me know on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, what you are choosing to do and when. And yes, please leave a podcast review wherever you are listening to this. When people read your words and can see themselves in them, then you are contributing to women empowering other women. And that feels amazing. You just might change or save a life today.